spring 2024. So much is going on, and some of it I want to share with you. So what this video is going to be is a big messed up ball of sharing. I have some photographs here of pretty flowers and beautiful kitty cats, and then also some beautiful people, and noting some projects that we've been working on at home, which is, hey, some new windows, and they look much better than these old things. We've also been working on installing a garden and other projects around the house. My classes are still going on at Lewis Skinter, which I'm very grateful for and enjoy thoroughly. And I've increased my students on the Accent Advisor app or job, whatever you call that. I'm coaching students to have a more American English sounding accent, which I really enjoy helping people, and so therefore enjoy that job. These are some tulips that I was given by one of my students, Charlie, that were rescued from the Lewis Skinter trash can. They came out beautiful. So this spring, I wrapped up a huge project that I'd been working on since last year, which was a video series of 55 reasons why I will vote for Marianne Williamson in the Democratic primary. And what a feat that was. I completed all of those videos and then ran out and did my early voting with like 1 week left before Super Tuesday came about. Project was incredible. I met some really wonderful, wonderful people, and I had a good time, and it was a great place to put a lot of my anxiety and worry and care and my need to do something about the situation that our planet is in. You can maybe see from my pictures that I've been very focused on getting some growing going on this year. Last year, we spent the whole year, or Corey spent the whole year making dirt. And it's so funny that all of that dirt basically ended up being about 2 little beds in the garden here. So we're going to have to get more. That's a different story. But I was talking about my project that I did in support of Marianne Williamson's campaign. And my main goal in supporting that campaign was because she's the only candidate who talks about peace and world peace, which is what we're going to need to have if we're actually going to save our planet. But now that's over. And I've been resting a little bit, staying away from video making. Some projects that I've done in the meantime is I taught a class at Lake College in Illinois via the internet, and special thanks to my good friend Terry, who teaches there. And that was a lot of fun. I also, what else have I done this spring that's I've been working quite a bit on my solar punk project. So I want to get more people involved in imagining a solar punk future and thinking about ways that people can live outside of the consumption of petroleum and such. So, A couple years ago, I started a meetup group, Solar Punk. It kind of fizzled and didn't go anywhere, mostly because I was too depressed to keep putting energy into it. But I haven't stopped putting energy into the idea of solar punk or creating stories around solar punk. So I have this new idea of creating like living stories that are happening in real time that you create with other people through the use of tarot cards. And, I don't really read tarot cards, so I took a class on tarot card reading this spring from Gregory Scott. And I really enjoyed it and have been trying to keep in touch with um, other people in my group. And so that I can keep exploring these ideas of tarot and keep getting some practice and reading cards. And I want to morph that into what's going to be called a tarot telling solar punk. I've been working on a theme song. So far, it goes something like deep 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 living, loving, loving, living. A tarot telling solar punk, solar punk, solar punk. A tarot telling solar punk. Stretching, flexing. Our imaginations. Burp, 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 something like that. And yeah, I've been working on some little art projects that are involved with that, and then my ideas of beginning that project. It's just something that I do to kind of take my mind away from this ecological anxiety. And it's not that, you know, I'm deathly afraid of the weather right here. I mean, as you can see, these pictures of my yard, I have beautiful, beautiful trees, and the weather has just been beautiful. Um, I would say that it's a kind of guilt because I know that there are people in other places on the planet who are suffering from incredible floods and temperatures. I just heard the other day that like some 30 kids have died in Thailand from um, severe heat. I mean, and it's just going to get worse because, uh, you know, well, maybe you don't know. We have just been sailing past some tipping points this spring, and nobody's talking about it at all. It just makes me want to pull out my hair, scream curse words, and vomit like projectile vomit, like, I don't know. I don't know what that kind of machine would be called. Like one of those fire hoses that shoots water, like a fire hose that's coming off of a boat. I want to be able to projectile vomit my upsettedness like that. I think that that would actually feel kind of good. But yeah, we have surpassed the 1.5 goal. Like, that's gone. It's gone. Bye bye. You hear anybody talking about 1.5 degrees and how we need to stay there? Forget it. The best we can hope for now is to maybe stay within a 2-degree warm up, which is catastrophic and most likely life ending for all life on the planet. You know, um, again, I just so frustrated. Why aren't people talking about this stuff more? Um, I was speaking about that kind of frustration. I find that I have a lot of issues myself in talking about climate change. Last year and a bit of the year before that, I worked to establish these climate emotion community circles. And yeah, I did all the work and I showed up and I got to places, and it's just people aren't interested. And I get it. They don't have time and they don't have the emotional bandwidth. They just feel like it's too hard. to look at something like that. But as a parent, I just have to say, buck up, man. Look at it anyway. I don't care if you're scared. We got to do something about this. And so I was talking about it, and I have a couple of friends that I can talk about it to, but it just, after a few statements, there's no more room to speak, you know. Um, you can't just like punch the words into somebody's face and get them to listen. But I'm starting to feel like all I'm doing is like punching my words out there because I've been speaking about it for so long and I get so little response, and I try to be understanding with my friends and with my family about their lack of response. I have a real hard time though lately with my family and the lack of response because it's not just that they can't deal with it, but then they also can't deal with me because I'm talking about it. And it's really put some pressure on my familial relationships, to say the least. Um, but I have a big question, which is, what are you willing to do so that people can live, future generations can live, you know? I have a grandchild, my son, I'm estranged from, so I haven't met my grandchild, but you know what? I would still do a hell of a lot so that my grandchild can live above ground in an atmosphere that is breathable. I'd be willing to give up even more. Let's see, I've already reduced my commuting life, tried to put more of my teaching online so I have less of a commute. I've moved to property where I don't have to constantly throw insecticides all over the property and pollute the earth. I've moved to a place where we can continue to compost all of our food waste, create more soil, grow more food, try to be more producers than consumers. And I'm wanting people, to come along with me. I'm exploring ways that we can entertain ourselves and spend time without traveling around and just using more fuel, burning more fuel, and increasing the short term of decent life that we have left, increasing the shortness of that time. Because even if we stop all use now, all oil consumption now, we're still going to be reaching 2. And if we continue the way that we're going over the next 10 years, we're going to be up to 3.2. That's just the way it is. So, what are you willing to do? I'm open for suggestions. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? A lot of people have a lot of suggestions of things that we can do that would be very easy and make really big differences. Oh my God, look at this. This is from my birthday. Yeah, this spring I also turned 56. And my daughter made me this hat. And here we are enjoying this hat. My daughter can now crochet. She's self-taught herself how to crochet. I'm so proud of her. She's so crafty and really has found this year things that she enjoys about life and people that she enjoys and has been spending time with them. Mainly her boyfriend, Xavier. But anyway, I was talking about what people can do And, there's a lot of things that our societies can do to help us, and it wouldn't hurt us so bad. Like, how about let's all shift to a 4-day work week? That would cut out one day of traffic for the world. How about avoid airline flight until technology shifts to green hydrogen? Avoid distant or lengthy vacations. Carpool. More carpool and errands. It's the same suggestions as were being made in the frickin' 1970s when I was growing up. We need to avoid using oil. Shift
I have a tiny eggplant. Like
the
so
way that we
tiny.
behave and improve our systems so that they are viable for the future. So anyway, when it gets to be too much just talking about all of this stuff that we can do, the same old stuff, recycle, reuse, compost, grow your own food, carpool, group all your errands together so you're not making needless trips. Bubba-dubba-dubba-dubba-duh. I like to break it up by talking more, excuse me, about solar punk. Why solar punk? Why am I excited about that? I'm excited about solar punk because it is futuristic and it describes a future where humans and other earthly life forms and technology evolve to live in reciprocity. And in doing so, here's the big prize. We get to live. It is possible for humans to evolve into more cooperative and collaborative beings. Oh, here you're seeing a trip we took to Natural Bridge hiking for my birthday. There were so many people there. We only stayed about, long enough to take the picture. And we hid all the people. They were all behind us and all around us, but we were able to block them out of the picture with our big hats. I think that's kind of funny. Check out these rocks. I mean, when you just look at the earth like this, little pieces, just the little pieces that are around you, wherever you are, you can find so much beauty, something that's so incredible that you would want to save it. You would want it to be able to be seen by future generations. It is our responsibility. Anyway, that is also part of a solar punk future, is that humans have realized that they need to take responsibility for their own actions. So let me just tell you a little bit more about a solar punk future, because in the solar punk future, there is world peace. Marianne Williamson often talked about how we need to imagine world peace and then, what was the word she used? Like retrofit ourselves, backwards design ourselves into that place of being. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But that is kind of the idea here with solar punk work. So in a solar punk future, there is world peace. Living beings and technology form societies that function through circular living. Economic systems and institutions are all centered around goals of sustainability, longevity, and balance. I mean, there's world peace. Humans evolve into cooperative and collaborative beings. Peoples of Earth share common goals that include reducing and healing the harms of our human past. Everyone participates in local and planetary mutual aid. Local communities thrive through community-level direct democracy structures that scaffold into global egalitarian governing bodies. What does that mean? That means there is world peace. A solar punk future is one we walk towards smiling because it is filled with fulfilling relationships, individual actualization, and countless possibilities for manifesting goodness and a reverence for all living beings. Yeah, see, thinking about solar punk kinds of things can feel really good. And so I've been imagining what it would be like to live in a place where we're involved with reciprocity. So the things that we live in would have to become the earth. We'd be able to grow our own food within our homes. We'd be able to kind of blur the lines of structure between what is nature and what is material. It's very interesting to me. Do you have any interests in solar punk imaginings? Do you have any interests in um, world peace or flowers or gardening or anything like that? Do you have any ideas of how to better approach your family and talking about planning for critical times, possible emergencies, possible life and death situations? Um, do you have any advice for me? Well, maybe leave a comment or send me a message. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for watching About My Life.